including people I haven't even talked to in months. Most of my closest friends wished me a bit later, by the way, and I don't mind that because they were planning something else. I wasn't even mad in the first place, so even if they hadn't planned something, I wouldn't be mad at them for not wishing me at 12. But me and my boyfriend can't meet on my B-day because of the said cousins. He could have at least dropped a text. Even that was 25 minutes late. Then he called, but I declined. He called again, and I didn't pick up. And that's all I got for my birthday. To be fair, we do plan to meet this weekend, and he asked me what I'd like as a gift and such. But even then, a birthday is a birthday. My boyfriend doesn't take his birthday very seriously, by the way. He doesn't even like to celebrate and gets kind of annoyed if his friends celebrate for him. He texted me twice in the morning, too, wishing me a happy birthday, but I had to get ready for my party, so I didn't reply. I did call him and talk to him for a while, though, because my mood was better because I looked pretty.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
I mean, that's relatable.
No, totally.
Sorry, that's relatable.
Looked
No,
pretty.
it's relatable.
No, but I felt a little better because I was looking really good.
I was looking pretty, so
that's
I
real.
talked to him.
That's real, but
Then all day radio silence. He had sent one meme to me all day. I was out the entire day with my friends, but I had to get back home around 9 to 10 p.m. to celebrate with my family. He knew that. Even then, no text asking if I'm home or what I'm doing. I think he would have asked that if he wanted to talk. You know what I mean? Especially since I'd definitely be drinking at home with my family when we celebrate, so he could have dropped a text to talk before all that started. Then I was drunk, but I was home in my comfy clothes, so I was texting in this mutual group chat we have. He could see those texts too. Then my friend called me. He wasn't there with me on my B-day, and we talked while I was drunk. But my boyfriend didn't even bother with a single text. He called me at 1 a.m. I had been home for 3.5 hours at this point, and I answered. I was really mad, and I had sobered up for the most part too. He asked why I'm upset, and I just said I don't want to talk about it. Then he went to sleep. We were on a call for about 20 minutes with him, just asking me why I'm upset and trying to talk, and I wasn't saying much because I didn't want to ruin my day. In the morning today, I woke up to 3 reels sent to me. He did ask 2 to 3 times over text why I'm upset, but a lot of it is like buttering me up by saying I'm so pretty and all that. I don't know if I'm overreacting about this or not. Some guy friend of mine said he'd order me a cake at midnight when I said my boyfriend hasn't even wished me and that he does it for his friends too. It's not that he's doing it because he likes me, but to be honest, he does hit on me, so I didn't agree to that. I already have 3 cakes, so it's not like I needed it. But then it makes sense too because my other friends got me a cake and yeah, she's spelling because with a BCS. But it makes sense too because my other friends got me a cake and flowers and such to surprise me, and my boyfriend couldn't even drop a single text. Am I overreacting about all this?
Yeah.
Broken heart emoji. He wasn't sleeping. He sleeps later than I do.
Oh, so it's still going.
He was up till like 3 a.m. He isn't working. He doesn't have a 9 to 5. He has generational wealth. That's it. Edit. I think there could be some cultural difference because I posted this in subs in my country and they're telling me to dump him. LOL.
Okay.
I think people are telling her to dump him to just save us all from the agony.
Just save this man.
Save us.
guys, to be 19 and for this to be what's going on, you know?
Right.
You're in high school. Like, you're still, all your memories are back there.
Yeah.
Like, it is all...
And I know that it varies, but this 19-year-old, 19 going on 13.
I felt like I was watching an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like Cordelia is just going off.
A modern day Cordelia, who can't spell.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I cannot stand her. I cannot hear that. I cannot.
I think this is funny though.
It's hilarious.
So funny.
It's pretty funny to read.
It's funny in the way that like I want to kill you. Like I can't believe we're hearing like it's so angering to hear like, and he can't even drop a single text.
After he called
in the
her
same
more.
breath we've gotten, and he called me twice, and he texted me at this time, but then he can't even send one text. Like, nothing would have satified her unless it was, like, this huge, grand gesture. But even then, she would have been like, but it wasn't right at midnight, and it wasn't here.
You know, we're talking a lot about her being 19, but I will also say I have heard stories from people I know about their moms going on, like, who are single, going on dates, and acting this same way. Like, there's a very real possibility that 30 years from now, she's the same person.
Yeah, which, again, there's some merit to, like, whatever is important to you can be important to you. That's totally
Sure.
fine. It's then putting that on other people and expecting them to know that and embrace it and just express it at the highest value. That's what feels so inappropriate. And you've been dating for, she said, 4 to 5 months. Like, that's still pretty early in a relationship to expect somebody to just show up, know exactly what they're saying. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that she hasn't expressed how important her birthday is to this person, because he's over here like, are you upset? Did I do something wrong? Like, is there something that you want to talk about? And she just doesn't want to say it.
Right.
Like, that's not helping anybody in this situation if you're going to refuse to talk about your feelings, even if they are a little unreasonable.
Yeah, like all the pieces were right in front of her where she's like, some people don't care about their birthdays. It's like, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, but I care about mine. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody was texting me at midnight, happy birthday, I'd be like, damn, like, why?
Whoa.
Why are you
Obsessed with
why
me.
are you obsessed
Get
with me?
off
I will
of
say
me.
that's
Yeah.
there. I think that was. I remember when I was 19, I felt like it was more common for people to do that. Like
The midnight text. Yeah, when you're
30, I'm
young
like,
and
what the
alive.
At 30, you're waking up
I'm
at
like,
midnight.
what the
Stop.
Yeah.
Dude, the paragraph where she's like, a guy friend of mine said he'd order me a cake at midnight, and I was like, I don't even need that. I already have 3 cakes. I don't even need any more. I'm like, what is happening?
Right. I'm like, I
do
we
think
lie.
my theory is I think she's drunk writing this.
She might be.
She sounds drunk to me.
But sometimes
Yeah.
when you're 19 and you're just like, I remember being on Tumblr and just go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also
And you're
true.
sober
She's
as
just
the day.
free
Yeah,
writing.
yeah, it's the day.
This is
As sober
this
as
is an
the day.
exercise.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
verdict, overreacting. You declined his calls at 12:25, didn't reply to his morning text, and then complained about radio silence for the rest of the day. You were self-sabotaging. You effectively shut down his attempts to celebrate you and then got mad that he stopped trying to shout into a void. Someone said, you're overreacting. I wouldn't even talk to you after this. It's 12 in the morning and you need everyone to say happy birthday to you immediately and then leave everyone who doesn't on red. You refuse to talk to him for hours over such a minor issue. His feelings are probably hurt and you sound so entitled. Someone said, you're overreacting. He didn't wish you a happy birthday late. He wished you a happy birthday 25 minutes into a 24-hour day. I sincerely hope this is rage bait and not actually how you treat your partner. Opie said, wow, this is real. Crying emojis.
Wow.
I knew people like this when I was 19.
Right.
And a lot of people are nodding their heads in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know someone like this.
Totally.
At some point
Yeah, and
in their
listen,
life.
like hopefully the goal is that you get that insight and are suddenly like, oh my gosh, I've been so
Yes.
hollow.
Yes. I knew people who were like this, extremely so, who then, cut to 10 years later, you would never have guessed they were like that, right? Like, people evolve so much.
Totally.
And some people don't at all.
Absolutely.
And some people get worse.
Yeah. And some people go good and then bad.
And then bad.
bad,
It's
and then
actually,
good.
by the time you're in your 30s, it's crazy.
Right.
The amount of, like, fluctuation you will see in
Totally.
people.
Humans are fallible, but we grow, we change. Yeah,
Totally.
like you said, we evolve. We're going to be in different versions. So it's like it's easy for us to critique and be like, oh my God,
Totally.
girl. But yeah, at the same time,
For sure.
it's like, for me, as long as I hear eventually like a sense of responsibility or like, oh my gosh, of course, like, you know what, guys, I was being entitled. For me, it's always like, great, awesome, we've moved on, you have caught up to date, like, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I personally have never cared about the happy birthday texts because I'm really bad at them myself, so I
I'm
could never
so
expect.
bad at it.
But if people, I'm like, if you're in the first hour or even by like 9 a.m., I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Especially if she did communicate that. I think a 30-minute grace
At
is
least.
valid.
I would say 30-minute grace is valid for
in
sure.
the most minimal sense.
Okay.
Totally.
Well,
I could
anyways,
unpack that for days.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot to unpack from today.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for watching. Let us know what your reactions were to these stories in the comments down below. And we will see you next Saturday.
Good night.
Bye next Saturday.
Bye.
Yay.
Our next story comes from Am I the Asshole?
Ooh.
This was posted 2025, like July of 2025.
2020.
So, just so you know.
Cool.
Am I the asshole for putting a stop to my 12-year-old daughter's period party?
What?
Let me set the stage. My wife and I, 43 male, 42 female, have 2 daughters, 7 years apart. 19-year-old was at college in a different state when this happened. Girls are very different. 19-year-old is outgoing, extroverted, loves meeting new people, trying new things, etc. 12-year-old is shy, a homebody, finds things she's comfortable with and sticks with them. In fairness, 19-year-old was kind of like this until she was 16 or so. Maybe it's genetic. A couple months ago, 12-year-old came to me in my home office, obviously upset. She stammers a bit, then manages to tell me that she just got her first period. I play the supportive dad, comfort her, and get her a box of sanitary pads my wife had bought earlier in the year, guessing this was going to happen sooner or later, and go over the instructions with her. She goes into her bathroom, does what she has to do, thanks me for my help. I got her some ice cream and my doll, told her there was nothing to be embarrassed about, and she could always come to me for anything. Wife gets home later that day. 12-year-old tells her what happened. Wife starts crying. My little girl is growing up, etc., then asks who should be invited to the period party, which I only knew of from listening to Bert Kreischer. If they were a thing when our 19-year-old started, she never asked for one. 12-year-old immediately closes off, says she doesn't want a period party, doesn't want anyone to know. Wife tries to talk to her some more, but 12-year-old ignores her and goes to her room. Wife tries to enlist my aid in changing her mind, but I tell her, she said she didn't want one, don't worry about it. 2 days later, I get home from running errands, and before I can even make it to the stairs, 12-year-old runs up to me and asks if she can do her homework in my office. I'm confused, but say sure, and she bolts upstairs. At this point, I started to suspect what was going on, and walked into the living room to find that my wife had not only decorated it like something which wouldn't have looked out of place on my Super Sweet 16, but there were several family friends, all women, and a few I recognized as neighborhood mothers. I beckon wife into the hall. She asks where 12-year-old is, and I tell her she wanted to do her homework in my office. She rolls her eyes and starts to move past me, but I step in front of her. I say, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Going to get our daughter. It's her party." I say, "She told you specifically she didn't want one of these." And she replies, "Oh, she didn't mean that. This is an important time for a girl. She needs to know not to be ashamed of her body." I say, "She's not. I already explained things to her. She just doesn't want to talk about it anymore." She says, "I don't expect you to understand. This is just for us women." She actually tried to push past me, but I stepped into the doorway and completely blocked her. She said, "What's wrong with you?" "What's wrong with you? You know how shy she is. You knew she didn't want you to do something like this, and you did it anyway." My wife said, "I told you it's for her own good. We can't let her grow up with a negative attitude towards something so natural." To which I say, "And we're not. I told you she knows what's going on. She's getting a handle on it. She just doesn't want to talk about it with anyone else for right now." She says, "Well, it wasn't your business to tell her about it anyway." I say, "You were at work. Was I supposed to ignore her for 4 hours until you got home?" She says, "You could have called me. I would have come home." I say, "It still would have taken you an hour. She was upset. I knew what was going on. I talked her through it." My wife said, "You don't know anything about it. It's never happened to you." At this point, I gave up. Point to my wife, "No, I've never had a period, but I had 3 older sisters and a live-in girlfriend before my wife and I met. Plus, we've been married almost 21 years. I'm pretty well versed." She again tries to move past me, but I don't move. "No, she doesn't want this. I'm not letting you make her do it." My wife says, "Fine, have it your way." She goes back to the living room and tells the other ladies the period party is off because I'm being a jackass. I lose it, follow her in, and let the women know, calmly but in no uncertain terms, that I appreciate what they wanted to do, but our daughter made it explicitly clear that she did not want this party, and my wife is trying to pressure her into it. Several of the moms frown at her. My wife starts to backpedal, talking about how she didn't think our daughter was being serious, but I ignore her and begin taking down the decorations. Everyone clears out shortly, and once the coast is clear, our daughter comes back downstairs. My wife gives her a half-assed, in my opinion, apology, again saying she didn't think she was serious, but our daughter also ignores her and just starts doing her homework in her usual place at the table. My wife was pissed at me for a week, claiming I undermined her authority as a parent, apparently by not helping her force our daughter into doing something she didn't want to do, and made her look bad in front of the neighborhood moms by telling them she'd been doing this against our daughter's wishes. So am I the asshole?
Jesus Christ. I just went through my whole middle school, teenage years, like, oh, I'm back, I'm an adult. What? First of all, I've never heard of a period party. Second of all, he is not the asshole. This mom infuriated me.
Yeah.
Thirdly, like, she 100% made her daughter's period about her. Absolutely. I'm like, hey, yes, having
She
a period
invited
is
all her
natural.
friends.
Is it fun? No. Does it hurt? Yes. Do I want to hide away and wear a bag? Yeah. Go off.
No,
It's so annoying.
I really respect, I mean, this is clearly like a very awesome dad. I respect him for standing his ground and like, you know, being like, hey, this isn't what she wanted. And like trying to respect his daughter's wishes. Like, I think that's really awesome. I think there's a lot of dads that like wouldn't give a shit or would like be like, okay, whatever, go ahead.
Also, wouldn't it make you proud that your husband, you know, stood up and took a stand and was like, I got you. I know exactly what to do. You can come to me anytime. Like, I would be like, wow, I wasn't here. I'm sad I missed it, but thanks for taking over. Like, I don't understand this. Why are you in competition with your husband? And I get it. Taylor's old as time to be like, you don't understand. You don't know what we're going through. Trust me, I've said it. But it's also just like, the man is doing his best. No, he doesn't experience a period, but he's doing his best to try to figure out how to communicate that with his daughter.
Yeah.
Weird territory. It's just clearly this.
Yeah, because he doesn't he doesn't understand what it's like to have a period, but he does understand what it's like to not want a party thrown for you, and then people are going to do it anyway. Like they're not respecting the daughter's boundaries. It's like the daughter's like, hey, I don't want this. And she's gathering the whole entire neighborhood for what she feels embarrassed about.
I wouldn't even want to be invited to that. I'd be like, I feel like
I'd be like,
watch a movie with her and have her in a heated blanket.
I guarantee you, the whole neighborhood's everyone was invited on the premise of like, she's so excited about this, she wants to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I know what my daughter wants, and she wants this.
I want to ask this mom, did she have a period party? Like, did her mom put on a period party for her? I literally have never heard of a period party.
Well, and he's saying he hasn't heard about it, but if it's a thing that's thrown around on podcasts, it might be a thing she heard about that she's like, oh, this is going to be really cool, and I'll look cool if I do this.
To be honest,
it reads as like vlog parent, but I don't think they're vlog parents, but this sounds like things vlog parents do.
I think first getting your period, it's such a weird thing because it's a very weird timeline because you may be getting it late. A lot of your friends already have it, so you feel like, what's wrong with me? Or you might get it early and be like, what's wrong with me? It's actually kind of a scary time.
Yeah, totally. When I read the title, the premise of like, we throw a party like for this thing that you're unsure of and scared
Celebrate, it's natural.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's because the daughter has so clearly communicated that she does not want this, and they're pushing this. They're making it worse in the process.
Also to like keep it private. If the daughter is like, okay, it finally came, yay, then it's just like, yeah, do your thing that works for your family.
Yeah.
This episode of Red Stories is sponsored by Hungry Root. Look, grocery shopping is not my favorite thing. I tend to splurge on items I don't need, or I walk out of the store with random groceries rather than the items I need for a recipe. This is why I use Hungry Root. Hungry Root makes grocery shopping easier on my wallet and my tummy. All I do is answer a few questions about my budget, health goals, and my diet. If you can't have dairy or gluten, that's fine. Hungry Root will find items that match exactly what you need. After that, Hungry Root fills my grocery cart and delivers it right to my door. And that's it. I love that I've saved so much time. No more wandering aisles for me. Hungry Root shopped all the ingredients for me so I could make some creamy chicken and bell pepper Alfredo, including seasoned pulled chicken, red lentil fusilli, and Hungry Root's classic Alfredo. It was exactly what I needed to end my day. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first order, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/pitreddit and use code pitreddit. That's hungryroot.com/pitreddit. Code PITREDDIT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. Back to the show.
I feel like also being that age, it's already kind of weird to be like a preteen, teen, whatever, and there's just like a bunch of adults like at a party. Like when my parents had adults over the house, it was like fine, but I wasn't like, yeah, this is lit. Like, and then the party is for something that you're really uncomfortable about and don't want. Like that just makes it exponentially worse.
What are the neighbors going to talk about? Like, I got so bloated, I couldn't fit in my jeans. Wait till you get 40.
Yeah. And that was the 70s, kid. Things were different then.
I lost my period completely and got hot flashes.
All I did when I got a period was smoke a whole pack of cigarettes.
I eat non-stop. stop.
I'd use I'd use a cigarette filter as a tampon one time. Jesus
My
Christ.
tampon got stuck for 2 days. You're in for it, honey.
Cool party, kid. You want to come to my menopause party next week?
I can't sleep because I'm dripping sweat.
Got hot flashes
right now.
Let's cut the cake.
I want to kill my husband. You want to come over?
Yeah. My husband died, and then I got my period again.
I got to be honest, you guys are making this party sound pretty awesome.
Honestly, as a
This
kid,
sounded
she
pretty
probably
good.
would have learned a lot. She should have
Yeah, it would
went.
have been valuable. She just didn't want to do it.
Get in the minivan. We'll have a beer on the way over.
Yeah.
To be clear, I did go to Six Flags when I got my first boner. So.
On the day?
Literally? No,
Wait, let's dive into this.
No, it's everybody knows. It's when you get your first boner, you got to go on Tatsu.
Do you want to talk to?
You got to do the flip. And make it go away.
There's a picture. It's just of the kid who's like,
I literally was thinking, just sitting here quietly being like, what would be the equivalent like if someone threw a kid a boner party?
Boner party.
he was so nervous about getting it, but it's natural.
Oh my
Go
God.
on, Superman.
No, I'm stuck on the bar.
The inertia's making the boner crazier.
Kid, you gotta put your boner away. There's no way we can get that safety bar up. Hey, the safety. Hey, car 2. We can't get the safety bar up because he's got a big boner.
Stuck on the safety bar. Oh my God. Guys, we got unstuck from the ride. Do you want to go get a churro? Churro!
Jesus. Now I have no idea what that would feel like.
You wouldn't
But it's
understand.
having a blast.
get it.
Walk on like I'm so excited about the ride. It's just a massive or small. Hey, whatever
It's
you
like
got.
your hands. It's doing the wave with your hands. It's going the same direction.
Puberty, I feel like, is the first example of just like things being so unfair, like what women have to deal with when they go through puberty. And then like boys, it's just like, oh yeah, you just better hope you don't get called up to go to the front of the class to talk about something. That's the only difficult thing.
Wait, that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, women getting their period in
Strategize.
their pants. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Because you
No,
can't
it's-
see it. That's the worst. You're walking and you have a red butt.
Yeah. At least I can see my huge boner.
Hey, you wish.
All right.
Okay.
Verdict is not the asshole. Comments. Not the asshole. Puberty is an awkward, embarrassing time. Having your parents shine a spotlight on every confusing milestone would be a nightmare. Imagine a first pube party or a wet dream dinner.
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
Jesus.
13,000
Right.
votes.
Who is this person?
At least come up with boner party. Someone said, not only are you not the asshole, but you're a goddamn gem for the way you stuck up for your daughter and communicated clearly, even to the partygoers. Chef's kiss. Update.
Whoa.
A lot of updates today.
Update. My wife tried to throw our son a boner party.
Yeah. And we went to Six Flags. Update. In the comments, OP wrote, hey everyone, thought I'd post an update. Yes, it's quick, but it's just a further explanation plus some commentary. Had to split it into two because it was too long. Next part is in the reply to this reply. First, I'd like to thank everyone who supported my decision. Second, to those who decided I'm AI or use ChatGPT to write this, nothing I can say will convince you one way or the other. So do your thing, man. There's a little like emoji there. Third, I'm not going to divorce my wife or anything like that. She's an incredible woman, and as corny as it sounds, my one true love. She's been an amazing mom, never done anything like this before, wasn't planning on posting it to social media. She barely even uses Facebook. She just made a misstep here for reasons which I will get into shortly. I can't respond to every comment, but I'll expand on some which caught my attention. 12-year-old did in fact get the talk from wife when she turned 12, so she knew what was happening, but it was still something she hadn't experienced before, so it threw her a little bit. I emailed my two closest sisters, and they both said, in their opinions, her reaction was normal. As one of them put it, even at best, it can be a shock, regardless of whether or not you're prepared for it, because it just happens. And even if you felt PMS-style symptoms, without ever having felt them before, you might not guess what they are until afterward. No, I did not notice the decorations being put up. I had to go out and run some errands related to my work, so I was gone about 3 to 4 hours, more than enough time for my wife to decorate. Before we had kids, my wife and I agreed we would treat boys or girls the same when it came to bodily functions. For example, we'd make sure the boys would be comfortable going to her with questions or problems if I wasn't around, and vice versa. And over the years, we would keep up with age-appropriate literature so we'd be equally informed. Just so happened we only had girls. Around 10 or so, when they started wanting more detailed explanations of where babies come from and such, we always conducted such conversations as a team, making it clear to each of them they could count on either of us. That being said, there have been some things which I never took part in. For example, the 19-year-old never asked me to take her bra shopping. That was all my wife. She did, however, occasionally ask me to pick up tampons or such in the years before she went to college. No, our daughter did not wait to tell me. It happened right after she got home from school on a half day. Wife works 10-hour shifts, so she wouldn't have been there. As I said in my original post, for another 4 hours. Our daughter has always been closer to my wife than me. 19-year-old was closer to me than my wife. But I was who was available. I'm sure that if we'd both been around, our 12-year-old would have gone to her mom. I wasn't trying to claim the dialogue was verbatim, what was said. My memory isn't that good, but the general tone is there, and some of it I did in fact remember word for word. So after a few days, things around the house went back to normal. My wife cooled off. Our daughter began talking to her again, and they didn't appear to have any issues, except that our daughter began coming to me more often about things instead of her mom. My wife obviously noticed, as they'd been very close before this, and was hurt but said nothing. I guess she figured she deserved it. Finally, one day after I got back from taking our daughter to school, my wife asked if she was still angry with her. I said I didn't think so, and my wife just kind of deflated. She looked so miserable that I actually got worried, and I asked her if she was still angry. Wife said no, then admitted that she'd f***ed up and gotten too into the concept of what others here have called menstruation celebration, which is a great phrase. It even rhymes. She said she'd been so focused on making sure our daughter had a positive experience that she brushed aside her reluctance to take part. And in my wife's defense, our daughter regularly does this. She'll say she isn't looking forward to doing something, but if she pushes past her shyness and takes part, nearly always has a good time. So my wife had thought this was just another example of our daughter doing that and didn't take it seriously. Then my wife said something which threw me for a loop. She asked me if I thought our daughter hated her now. I was stunned and automatically replied, of course not. She's just, and then I kind of trailed off because I didn't really know what to say. Upset was what I finally settled on. My wife was quiet. Then I asked her why she'd been so insistent, since she hadn't tried to do this with our 19-year-old. No drama there. 19-year-old got hers at 13 while they were out shopping. It was handled before they even left the mall. She said when our 19-year-old started, it was just such a busy day that she didn't really have any time to think about it beyond, quick, let's go to the bathroom so I can help. And it wasn't until after this that my wife really thought about her own first period, which basically consisted of her being told virtually nothing beforehand by her emotionally manipulative mother. They've been no contact for 15 years, barely being 12 when it happened. And once she did go to her mom, only being handed a box of pads and warned not to get pregnant. Nothing more was ever said about that between them. My wife had to learn nearly everything from her friend's mother. Yeah, that old woman is a piece of work. My wife was determined she wouldn't behave like that toward our 12-year-old when it happened. But as events show, she basically went too far in the other direction. Then she asked me what I thought she could do to fix this. I told her the truth. Our daughter probably wasn't going to feel comfortable confiding in her again for a while. But if she really wanted to apologize, she should tell her what she just told me. And so she did. My wife went to pick our daughter up from school, and when they got home, I saw they'd both been crying, but also seemed happier. Turned out I wasn't quite right, and our daughter had still been harboring some resentment toward my wife for trying to push her into the period party. But after hearing my wife's story, she decided to forgive her, only asking that she promise not to do something like that again. And 2 months later, this happened in May, things between them seemed to be back to normal. Maybe not the most exciting resolution, but I don't think our daughter is going to hold a grudge over this or has permanently damaged their relationship.
That was an update.
Yay.
Woo! Let me tell you,
was an update.
daughters harbor resentment, okay? I come from 3 sisters. We harbor resentment. We hold on to it for years unless there is that interception of a conversation. Like, I think it was really good that the mom went to her and said, hey, this is what my mom did, and I just never wanted to be that way, and I went in the other direction. Like, kids are resilient. They're smart. They can be like, oh, okay, I understand. I think just like going back to the grief story, like, it's really good to start these conversations early, because there were so many times that my mom would just like do things or be mad. And then my dad would be like, well, you know, she's blah, blah. And I'm like, why didn't she just tell me that? I know it's a lot, but it's like, I think it's better to just, you know, be honest. And I'm glad that she like cut right to the point of it because she probably would have been mad at her for years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but it's real.
I think that's a real thing with like between parents and their children. And I'd say even siblings.
Especially
can be the
daughters,
case.
man.
I mean, it's okay if you don't have an example. This is a crazy thing to pull, but it's like, do you have examples of like a conversation that was had about something that had happened like 10 years prior? Like, I feel like that does like plenty of, like, I've heard plenty of stories of people being like, oh, I had a conversation with my dad or my mom about something that happened when I was a kid 20 years ago to finally get resolution about it.
All the time. Literally all the time. My mom and I just went through like a major breakthrough of something that happened when I was a teenager.
Whoa.
And she was like, you know, I never apologized, but this is how I was feeling. And I was like, I never knew that you felt that way. And now that makes so much more sense. And what's funny is it made me think about other things that I've done to like my sister and been like, oh, I that up. And I once like went to my sister and told her like I was sorry, and she broke down, and that was like 15 years ago. I'm not even just gonna say women, but like families, you hold on to so much stuff, and it's weird that it's just going to the source and being like, this is where I was actually at in that moment can solve years of pain.
Totally.
I'm still working on it.
Totally.
But like, I have so many examples of that with my mom. And, you know, with sisters too. I don't know. My family's just a lot of women, and it's like, we hold on to stuff. We move forward. We'll have like a great time together.
Totally.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that she did that, because that must have been really painful for her to be like, wow, does my daughter hate me?
Yeah.
Anyways, you got to talk about periods.
I'm always saying that.
You got to talk.
Trevor is saying it
Trevor,
all the time.
you said that to me this morning. Like, you got to talk about periods.
You gotta talk about
I was like, totally.
It's like, I'll do this episode if you talk about periods.
what can I say?
Here we go, our first post. This was posted back in February of 2020. They said, we're doing a podcast with a friend, and he's telling the entire Dragon Ball timeline. We've been here for 50 minutes, and it doesn't stop. How can we politely tell him that he's been talking for way too long?
Wait, so he's like literally typing as the guy.
It's a very short post. So he's typing this. He typed this out while they're doing the podcast.
The other guy's in the zone, not even paying attention to the fact that they're on the phone.
Just locked in on Dragon Ball.
50 minutes doesn't sound like that long.
Well, he's probably not finished with Dragon Ball yet.
Right.
He hasn't gotten to Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yeah.
And then
there's GT, which is like a different timeline.
And then it's Super, right?
Dragon Ball Super. There's all the movies. There's like the Broly movie. And
well, I hope he covers that.
Yeah, he's got to do that.
He's got to cover that.
And if he wants to really get into it, he's got to do a Dr. Slump, which is what Akira Toriyama made before Dragon Ball. And
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's about a little robot girl named Arail, and there's a lot of poop humor. It's more like childish.
Oh, okay.
See, it sounds like you could use 50 minutes.
It sounds like I need that.
Dang, okay.
So they write, when we tell him that he is taking up all the conversation, he just laughs and says it's content. We're kind of trapped here and cannot say anything. How do we break it to him? This is no joke. This is serious. Mods, if this is too trivial for the sub, just delete this post. I'll understand, no problem. Okay, so they're in a real sticky situation where they're filming a podcast. They're trying to get him to stop, but he continues going. We don't know what podcast this is, because if it's an anime podcast, I'm like, hey man, par for the course.
In the comments, they find Joe Rogan talking about Dragon Ball for 50 minutes. It's just like, so this Goku.
Jamie, pull up Dragon Ball Z.
What? I can't imagine they have a central theme to their podcast and or have done this very long. Because if this is a regular thing, it's a problem. Or if it's a one-time thing, this feels like the first episode. Like, let's sit down and do a podcast finally. This might be an incompatibility thing.
This might be the first and last podcast of this podcast.
Yeah, this might be tough.
I was going to say, there's so much opportunity on TikTok for one person to talk to you about a niche interest for 50 minutes. That guy will be by himself and do just fine.
Yeah. To be clear, this is borderline an episode of Smosh Games where Spencer just explains the Resident Evil timeline.
Which was great, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play number 6, and so I got
you're
to,
right. People
I got
will
to
watch that.
him.
I watched that whole damn thing.
People will watch that
and
shit.
I hate Smosh Games.
And I hate Spencer.
No, that's, I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just, like,
It doesn't fucking matter, man.
Just delete the podcast after. Just like sit there, go on your phone.
Wow.
Delete the podcast.
I think the real advice I can give, because before I was just like, what are they doing? Real advice, like if they are friends and they really want to make this work, think about why you want this friend with you and just, appeal to that and be like, dude, Jake, I don't know, you're so good at like being, making these insightful comments, or you're so funny when you banter back and forth like this. And like, obviously you got a lot of Dragon Ball knowledge, but like we don't really get to have those moments. And if we want this podcast to be a cool thing, I think what we have going for us is your relationship with this or your insight on this.
It needs to be a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, and
I've heard
people,
that's what
like,
podcasts are.
If people want to yap, I mean, I think that's a good point of like TikTok or have your own like YouTube channel. Like people love to watch people yap about one specific interest for like 4 hours. Like I know I do. So I feel like that's more of the medium for that. Like if you want to talk about the entire timeline of Dragon Ball Z, I'm kind of seated for that.
Oh yeah, this guy's actually missing out.
Yeah.
He needs to make his own YouTube channel, just do this, the entire Dragon Ball timeline explained.
Yeah.
I know there's probably already a million of those videos out there, but it sounds like he's ready to do this himself.
There are.
Yeah, there's probably other people who've done it better, but he could do his own.
Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah.
For shits and gigs.
Find your niche.
Yeah, I think he's misunderstanding the point of a podcast.
Yeah, no, he's being he's being shitty to his co-hosts.
Like you'd said before, that's the bigger issue of someone being like, hey man, we want to have a conversation. Being like, no, this is content. Like,
no.
You're like, well, yes, it is content. Whether it's good or bad is the question.
Comments, so people responded to this guy and they said, let's be honest, the Dragon Ball timeline is pretty interesting. OP said, it sure is, but the other guys don't care about anime or anything about that after all. It was interesting for a good 20 minutes, but then after an hour, we got really tired. Damn. So it's not even an anime podcast. It's not even about that. Someone said, have the great idea of making it a live podcast. Tell him, hold up, got a great idea, let's do this live. And tell him you're signing into YouTube. It's something, and just prop your phone up. If he doesn't stop, then tell him he's got it and walk away to grab a snack or something. Let him talk to your phone. Or just tell him, dude, stop, that this isn't the point of the podcast. Someone said, turn off the equipment. We asked you to please stop. This isn't the content we're interested in producing. And lastly, someone left a long comment saying, it sounds like he is trying to fill time, perhaps because your podcast is open-ended discussion with no guidelines. Try telling him that from the audience's perspective, they will expect to hear content from all podcasters. If you find it awkward, the listeners will too. Perhaps also work out an agenda before your podcast to break up roles and responsibilities for the content. Decide which topics are discussions, multiple people, versus rants, one person talking, versus interview style, structured ask and reply. I hear some podcasters even announce their agenda at the beginning of the podcast. Maybe have designed roles for facilitator/timekeeper, snarky comment guy, and deadpan response guy. Don't just sit down and start talking. If there are guidelines and he is not following them, then say, dude, I am delighted you have passion for the topic. We do too. Let's follow our agenda so we can showcase all the stuff we plan to cover. Maybe some of your content can help fill in our next one. Where do you want to cut off for today?
I think that's a good point of like having an actual plan.
Sure.
Because if it is a completely unstructured podcast, then like you are kind of asking for a situation like this. Yeah. You know, if you didn't set those guidelines,
especially when you ask this friend to be on the pod. I mean, I wonder if this is not par for the course for this friend.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I invited my buddy who goes on rants about anime for hours on end.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, he did the thing.
A completely quiet finance guy, and the moment he's got a microphone, he's just like, so Goku, oh, he's this little boy with a monkey tail.
Check this out. Update.
Oh.
Everything's fine now. I did the presidential debate thingy after 1 hour counting down from 3 and saying, it's someone else's time to talk for an hour now.
God. They fixed the friendship, but that probably didn't fix the podcast.
No, not at all.
I gotta say, Smosh Games, which I know you hate, and that's okay.
Big hater, the biggest hater.
The biggest hater. They really killed it with the Spencer Explains stuff because, there is no better gift than, getting to go on a rant about something you love to somebody who's like, tell me more about Pokemon. I don't know anything. And you're like, oh, it's just, it's the best feeling. And for him to, set it up in a way that Angela and Amanda were there and they made it content and people got to enjoy and learn through him and all that stuff, I know we're talking in the future. This was 2020, but if these folks are here now, explain DBZ to your friends for an hour and make it a video.
Yeah.
And it's a delight.
The market's ripe for it.
Yeah.
We primed it for you.
But you need to make sure that like your friends actually want to hear you rant about this stuff. Where these people like clearly did not know what they were getting themselves into.
I mean, if it's a planned Dragon Ball Z rant, maybe that's fun. But if it happened by surprise, I love anime. If you were just like, surprised, I'm going to talk to you for an hour about anything, I'd have a panic attack. I got to feel like I can go if I need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Our next one was posted on Ask Men, and it was posted in 2019. They ask, how many kindergartners do you think you could personally take on in a fight before being overpowered?
Dude.
Stipulations and context. Number 1, the kindergartners are released 5 at a time every 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
Number 2, the arena is a standard-sized classroom, let's say 40 feet wide by 25 feet deep. However, the room is completely empty. 3, the kindergartners are unarmed. They are just going to run at you, attempting to punch, kick, bite, and scratch you. Their ultimate goal is to cumulatively dogpile on you and pin you to the ground. If they can pin you for 15 consecutive seconds, you lose. 4, you have to knock a kindergartner unconscious in order to defeat them. Once they are knocked unconscious, they vanish from the classroom arena. 5, you can use any strategy you want to fend them off, but you are also unarmed and you are not allowed to leave the room. Okay.
So there's no weapons.
There's no weapons.
There's no objects in the room.
I guess there's no objects in the room that you could pick up and use. So you just gotta.
Can you hurl them through a window?
I wonder.
And out of the arena?
Ooh.
See, I'm thinking he should have stipulated
classroom.
that.
That's the thing. When they say there's like no,
It's
it's otherwise like an empty, classroom. I'm like, there goes any like, obstacle advantage you might have.
Yeah, they say you have to knock the kindergartner unconscious in order to defeat them.
And see, unlike this realistic situation, that's some movie stuff where like, you just and then they just pass out. Like that doesn't happen. That's a severe concussion, especially at that young age.
But it says once they are knocked unconscious, they vanish from the classroom arena. So they do just poof out of there, kind of like, video game style.
God, man, I don't know.
So these aren't real kindergartners. They're a simulation of
they're kindergartners.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just cut that part out, and then the rest of the conversation looks like we're f***ing monsters.
Let's establish it would not be fun.
No.
I
no
wouldn't have a
one
good
wants
time.
to beat up 100 kindergartners.
I don't like the idea of hurting anyone or anything, but there's the ones of like, how would you rather fight a human-sized duck or a duck-sized human? Or no, I forget what it is. Or it's like 100 ducks or one giant duck or something like that.
A human-sized horse or a horse-sized duck or whatever.
That's right. Stuff like that. Nah, whatever. But I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to fight those things. But realistically, I think I'm losing pretty fast in this.
I think so too, because
I think
like
5.
If
probably,
5 can like grapple you all at once, then you're just kind of like, I mean, like a kindergartner's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's because
right?
if 5 like. I remember, like...
If one latches onto your arm, right? That's like, what, 50 pounds?
Yeah.
It's funny, that's the number I literally just landed on my head. I'm like, that gotta be like, what, 50 pounds? But it's also not just that. It's like the fact that they're running at you with so much, like, oomph. It's, it can take the most minor thing in the world to, like, tweak your back, and then you're just screwed. Like, imagine, like, if you got little nieces or nephews when they're just like, ha, catch me, and you're like, oh, okay, buddy. Like,
it's
that
intense.
can be enough.
No, at one point, I remember my niece had latched onto my leg. Yep. Like, kind of that thing where it's like, like, walk, and I'll, like, and so I'm, like, walking while she's, like, on my leg, and I'm like, I can barely move now.
That's what I feel like you need,
and I'm like so that's 2 there, 2 on the arms, and then the other one's just punching your face.
Yeah. Or, like, biting you or something.
No,
like,
it's, I'm losing. Like, I'm being honest here, I'm losing.
Yeah, in round 1, possibly.
Yeah.
But if you give me, like, a push broom or something, then I think... Then like a push broom. Like,
I know you haven't had a job that
you need like
so it's
I've just never heard it referred to as a push broom. But
if you need like you need like a weapon to keep them like at a distance, and like scatter them.
This is literally like what's that one game? What's the kung fu game where you beat up a bunch of people, and you can grab like items. It's like a
Sifu,
broom.
maybe?
Sifu.
Oh.
Yeah, no, because in Sifu, I would always grab brooms. That shit was so fun.
Yeah. You got to keep them at a distance.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
don't have anything, they just close distance on you and latch onto you like little monsters.
You'd have to, or if there's like desks, as they're charging, you like jump up onto a desk, get a good kick in.
Sure, yeah.
Because otherwise
high
you're dealing
kick
with a
in.
real like height differential thing here where like they're so small. You're not like, oh, I'm just going to whack them away. It's like you kind of either have to get on their level or use a kick of some kind.
Right.
But there are no, there's no anything in the room. I think, are they coming at you all at once? Is that
5 at a time.
I
five
think,
at a time, but I
and I'm
mean, like,
wondering, do
is
they
it-
come from all angles?
Old-timey British Army like in a line?
I'm thinking the door opens and 5 rush in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so I think you might need to start it with like a football charge. Like you charge at them as they're charging at you. So you nail at least 2 of them, send them sliding across the floor like 20 feet. Then you got like 3.
20 feet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean for me it'd be more like 30 feet. But
Not how big the classroom is, but
then you're dealing with maybe 3 while the 2 are like, trying to recover.
Right.
Then maybe you can like 2 latch on your arm. You got 1 here. Then you got this one's free. You go, like take a knee to one of their heads.
Right. I think you're underestimating. Also, what is giving me some thought is like you can do the classic move where you grab 2 of their heads and go bonk, and then you knock them out.
It's the Mike Tyson with the pigeons, except aggressively.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something I think is kind of awful, but I've been more quiet on this part, and it's because I've been in the noggin and trying to think about how you would actually have to do it. I think the only way you're going to survive more than 1 round is to play on their fear.
True.
I think because it's what you have on you. There's nothing around you. They're all coming at you. They can barrel into you. I think first one near you, you need to catch and like just make an example of.
Oh my God. Like you just grab them by the mouth.
I'm not even saying what it would be. I don't want those kind of thoughts to enter my brain of like violence. I just am like, it would have to be like.
So shock and awe.
I'm saying Vlad the Impaler of like, they're marching on your army and then they see like 10,000 of your own guys. They're like, is this who we're about to fight? Let's go home. It has to be something like that because I'm going to get tuckered out real fast. Like, forget the amount of therapy I'm going to need afterwards.
Well, these are sim children. They're not real.
Your body's not going to know.
It's real to me.
But
the problem
dreams
is,
about
here's the problem. That argument doesn't work because these are sim children. I'm thinking they're not feeling fear. I don't think they feel fear. I don't think they're real.
If they don't feel fear, do they feel adrenaline? Because if they don't feel adrenaline, that goes out the window. We're winning.
I don't even know if it takes adrenaline.
When you were saying like you got to make them like afraid, my thought went to a much more innocent thing of like dress up as a dentist.
You don't have a dentist outfit.
Yeah,
it's not in the classroom.
Yeah,
but like,
I don't want to fight these kids either.
Yeah,
I know.
Or
I
like a
think we're
barber because like kindergartens hate getting their hair cut. Maybe I don't know.
True.
Yeah. Look, let's see what the comments say. Okay.
Yeah, we got to see what the comments.
That's why I always
say.
keep a clown mask in my back pocket.
OP commented, no moral constraints at all. The only things that exist are you and an unlimited number of kindergartners coming at you. Okay, but buddy, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. He's like, actually, just don't feel bad about it. Someone said, why is everyone so obsessed with the idea of picking one up as a weapon?
I did think about that.
This would be an extreme waste of energy. Picking up and lugging around an extra 50 pounds plus.
We all think that. Okay, we gotta know. Everyone in the comments, comment how much you think a kindergartner weighs.
They're all gonna say 50 pounds
don't
now.
cheat.
Here's how I arrived there, though. I was kind of a larger, like, second grader. I remember having that as the moment that I was like, am I the chubby kid? And I think I was like 89 to 90 pounds in second grade. So I was like, okay, so what would be like normal for a kid? I'm guessing like maybe 70. And then, okay, so that's 2 years prior. I'm going to say 50 pounds. So just, I don't know, sorry.
Just using kicks or punches would do the same thing and conserve way more energy. 6,000 upvotes. Someone said every 5th and 10th wave, there's a 3rd grader boss to assist them.
I love that.
Someone said, I've got a huge advantage and a huge disadvantage. I'm a big guy. That comes with strength, but a lack of cardio capability. I'd need to destroy each wave fast. so I could have a small breather between waves. So is it allowed to just drop onto the 5 children, like full on fall? I reckon I could spark 3 out and kill 2 with each fall.
Spark 3 out.
As long as they line up nicely on the spawn. Being bigger, it'd take more to pin me too. But there isn't an infinite number that I could beat. Maybe 15 to 20 waves?
Wow.
After wave 10, I'd be getting tired, and I reckon it'd take 25 kids to effectively pin me. So 15/20 waves survived. Okay, I think people really underestimate this shit. Because have you ever heard about when people are like, oh, you think boxing is like easy? It's like box for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And you are dying on the mat. Like, it is so exhausting. For a guy to think he could do 15 waves, I'm like,
absurd.
That is simply silly.
Has he not seen Weapons?
Yeah. No, truly. That's what I'm imagining. Okay, these are weapons children.
Okay. Yeah.
They said no weapons.
No weapons,
unlimited
but the
games.
children are weapons.
The children.
But unlimited games, no bacon. But no, these kids are coming for you, and they're going to rip your face off.
Yeah.
I also think people underestimate how much it takes to get really knocked out. Like, yes, in a boxing match, if you get hit just right, they're like, oh, it's a total knockout, whatever. But like, these kids have to be unconscious. I think they're thinking of like, I kick this one and it's down. I kick this one and it's down.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot more.
Lastly, someone said, I would say max 3 minutes before I am too tired. So 25 to 30.
Jesus.
Someone said, finally, a realistic answer. No, the realistic answer is it's probably over immediately. Because 30 seconds, after 30 seconds, another 5 enter.
That's insane.
Whether you've defeated them or not. So even if you've
30
defeated a couple
seconds
of
is
children,
insane.
even if you've knocked out a couple of the kids, more come in after 30 seconds. So you're not succeeding.
If they try to sort of like keep away from you, which is another horrible situation, for like, I don't know, 3 minutes to build up their ranks and then they go for it, you're toast.
Also, the big guy's like, oh, if I just fall on them, it's like, falling on them isn't just knock them out. He's thinking like some cartoon logic.
Yeah.
He's like, these aren't Goombas.
Tweety birds around their head.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
"Oh, you got me.
Anyways.
I don't like that we had to think about that.
I don't like
but-
it either. I much prefer thinking about
Me
how many men it would take to fight a
neither.
gorilla.
I hated thinking about that. I didn't think about that when I was Chuck E. Cheese and they were kicking me in the shin at all.
Then you had reason. That's self-defense.
This does remind me, though. There's a subreddit that is my favorite subreddit right now, and it has been popping off, and it's called Power Scaling. And all they do is they pit fictional characters against each other. They go, Superman versus Omni-Man, and people are like, Superman would crush him.
Obviously.
And it's just a ton of that, right? They're like, Black Widow versus some other person, like who would win in a fight? And they're constantly doing this, and it's really fun to debate this, especially when they get really niche. I have one that I really want to post, but I don't have a Reddit account. But I'm like, okay, think about this power scaling. There is an evil dictator who gets to have one guest come and stay with them for a week. And you get to send a fictional character who you think would do the best chance of swaying them to good. And I'm like, okay, so it's Ted Lasso versus Paddington versus like SpongeBob versus like who would you send that could actually sway an evil emperor or king or something?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the type of power scaling I want.
Okay.
Like,
I
who's
think
the
that's
most
cool.
powerful of like positive sway? And it's like Paddington's got to be up there. But I'm like, who else fits that bill? You know? Anyways, comment down below.
I like that a lot.
This is my power scaling predicament. Who is the most like positive influence?
You think Paddington would sway a dictator?
Tell me Paddington 4 won't be like, oh, this evil emperor of this nation.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Paddington, you were invited to go stay with him for a week. And he's like, oh, dear, I don't know what to do. He's Paul McCartney to me. He goes, and then the evil dictator's like, what's this little bear? And then he like, after a while, he's like, you know what? I'm a bad
Paddington
guy.
off to the gulag.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's already been to jail. He's already been through the jungles of Peru. Like,
I mean, this is a classic Paddington storyline, but also Ted Lasso. You know, it's like maybe he would also like he'd give him like because he's a sports guy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other characters that fit that trope. You know what I mean?
Can there be coercion as opposed to persuasion?
Sure.
Like Yagami.
Oh.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah.
But he's also evil.
Sure. Well, it didn't say that
okay.
he just got to change his mind. Like,
Okay.
it's his goal for the day for whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
I said Ian Hecox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. No, there was a good one recently where it was Dexter versus Hannibal, and everyone was like, "Oh, dude, Hannibal walks Dexter," and I didn't realize. Like people rank this shit, and they're like, if you look
because it gets in your mind.
They go based on the lore and the feats of like what Hannibal has done versus Dexter. It's fun. I love when it gets outside of superhero territory. It's time for our final story. This comes from Today I F***ed Up. This was posted in February of 2021. Today I f***ed up by putting my head in a fishbowl before my daughter was born. They write, there's really not much backstory apart from the fact that my daughter was a breech baby and wouldn't turn. Due to various complications, we had opted for a planned C-section. The whole thing in general was just really bizarre. Like, you pick your kid's birthday just like that. Anyway, my wife and I tend to be goofy, fun-loving folk that are always up for a laugh. We do a lot of silly things together to make each other laugh, though as with most men, I tend to meander into the dumber territory more often, as you will soon hear. On the day of the birth, just as we were about to leave for the hospital, I pick up this fishbowl-style lampshade. We have a photo of it here. It's a fishbowl-style lampshade.
Oh, no.
We put it up onto my head because we are boldly going where neither of us have gone before. I just saw it on my way to the door and didn't really think it through, so I immediately regretted this decision when my giant ears, my nose, and hair, I have down to my ass length hair that was in a loose bun, ended up blocking my head in this thing, and I couldn't get it off.
Oh, my God.
We tried for a bit, and my
man.
wife was understandably over it pretty quick because we were going to be late for our baby appointment. So I made the executive decision to not make the situation any more stressful than it should have been, too late, and to just drive to the hospital with this on my head and hope that someone at the hospital might have some idea what I should do. As you can imagine, the car ride was a real mixed bag of emotions for us all. We arrive, I do the walk of shame into the maternity ward with this bubble on my head.
I'm dying.
Holding my wife's hand, and there's this older nurse who greeted us, and I could see her dinner plate eyes just screaming, "What the f***?" And my wife jokingly said, "Yep, I'm having his baby," to which literally all the midwives in the maternity ward that could see us walk up the corridor just started howling with laughter, and whoever was not visible poked their heads around the corner to see this spectacle. My wife was then ushered into a room where they monitored the baby and her. A nurse, who was this massive buff tattooed dude, by the way, so imagine that, took me to another one of those inspection rooms and got the thing off with some sort of lube/gel. Anyway.
He's like, I got this, buddy.
Anyway, 4 hours later, we had a healthy baby, and I got hazed by some of the older midwives. It was really good fun in the end. Wouldn't recommend, but it definitely beats any other birth story I've heard and broke the ice with most of the staff. P.S. For those of you wondering how I got it on in the first place, here's some handy-dandy instructions in case you wanted to give it a go. Get the bun in first, then move downwards over the ears, then the nose, and then push down until the ears get into the rim. The bun will smush up inside and move downwards a bit, and voila, you're a jackass.
Oh.
Damn.
I am dying.
He was fully stuck.
I would be in the car like, I can't believe we're walking in there.
And he just turns over, he's just like,
like she's probably so overwhelmed about a C-section.
Yeah.
She wants to get a C-section.
That's so
Do you guys know what that is?
Can I? Yes. Can I? This is the wrong move, but can I tell you what popped into my head? Is if I was in his situation, I would have just like smashed my head against a wall. Oh. So I'd have been like, yeah, I got to
Then you would
break
have
it
been
off.
knocked out.
Really,
No, I'm protected by the glass.
Glass all up in your man.
I would
body.
probably just cut my jugulars and die.
What is wrong with you? You're just like head off.
Yeah,
Imagine he
decapitated.
didn't get it off like before the birth, and then his wife like
oh
gets
my
done,
God.
and he's like crying, and the bowl steams up. He like can't. It all
Can't
fogs
see.
up. He can't see. It's like Mysterio.
No, if we want to really Mr. Bean this, on the drive there, a bee flies in and flies into the thing. He's just like, no! Or he actually gets it fills with water and a goldfish. Like, those are the
That's
answers.
where I thought this story was going.
Yeah.
Like SpongeBob in the tree dome.
Yeah, by the end of this story, he should have been on a skateboard rolling down the fucking... Comments. Someone said, voila, you're a jackass, best part. Someone said, please tell us you will be getting newborn photos with the fishbowl involved somehow. Lastly, someone said, you're going to be an urban legend in that ward forever now.
Oh my God, those midwives were probably so happy.
To have a legendary story at a hospital that isn't depressing is impressive.
Yeah.
And they probably really needed that laugh.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
You know what I mean?
What a tough job.
Good for him. Hey, he's kind of a hero.
Hey, you know what? He's our legend today.
I don't know. It is such a tough job, but I feel like what a joy. They get to see all these new babies. Like all the nurses, I had like 5 nurses, and they were so right when Cole was about to be born, they were going like, it's his birthday party, birthday, and they brought out all these like whatever those celebration things. They're like, birthday party, and I was like, birthday party. And H had like music, like they were just, I don't know. They are the most incredible people in the entire world. Like I don't know how they do it. I don't. Hours.
What time of day was it?
6:20 in the morning.
Wow. Early morning.
Yeah, it
Damn.
was 20.
It's crazy. You had an 8 a.m. call time that
21
day,
hours.
too.
I got to Reddit stories like,
Fishbowl on head.
that would be awful.
We had to give Napkin a fake birthday. We gave him a birthday because we were lied to about what age he actually was, so we don't know his actual birthday. So,
whoa.
Based on how old he was, his birthday, we decided to make him an April Fool's baby.
Fun.
Because he's just.
You guys are so goofy and silly.
You guys are so silly.
Hey, talk about you want to know who's silly's Napkin. That guy keeps me on my toes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He keeps me on my toes.
Right when you said this couple was like a silly, I was like, ugh. I'm sorry.
And then you hated them.
You know those couples that was like, we try to
They're
make each
both
other
the
laugh.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a little
Everyone stops
quirky.
here.
We like to do a couple gags every day.
I can't.